Hello, my friends. Welcome to CJ Reads Books. I'm CJ, and today we're going to be talking about Hearts in Atlantis by Stephen King. Look, y'all, I read out of order because my friend Robert finished reading this, and I wanted to see how it was because we seem to have very similar tastes in Stephen King books. And let me tell you, so this one was written in 1999, and I feel like now I can't be correct until I read more of his novels, but I feel like this is the transition novel before he splits his world off into the infinite Kingverse that he has now. But before I get too far into my ramblings, let's get into it. This weather is beautiful. The breeze is out, the sun is shining, but it's really cool and all that stuff. So I am enjoying it. Back to Mr. King's Heart in Atlantis. So this splits into five short stories that are all interconnected into one. So I know about the Kingverse because I read books and I have a partner that reads books and tells me about them. She doesn't anymore, but she has read into the Kingverse and she was really interested into that before she quit reading books. So I had already had a little inclination of what Stephen King was about before I started this chronological journey for reading his books. Now, I've already seen some of the similarities reading The Shining because that was my honey's first suggestion to me, which I loved. And then I read Doctor Sleep, and then I read the whole Gwendy trio novels. And then I started reading from literally his first novel to, I think my next one out of the chronological selection is the Bachman Files, which he wrote under a different name, but too much rabbit holding here. So this follows five different perspectives that are all connected. So the first story I had a hard time getting into, but after it started picking up. I couldn't put it down at all. It was so good. It was so well written, and like it was just you could feel the character and his hatred and his emotions, and it was just so well written. And then you go on. The next story I wasn't too much into at first either, but I picked it up quickly, and it just the more it got into the story, the more it was interconnected and it was like in this ball, and you could start to see the Kingverse kind of forming in this book because he talks about the Dark Tower series, he talks about the Gunslinger, and like it's like while writing this book, I believe in 1999, he already thought about all the other King verses that he was going to make, which is amazing, incredible, and also incredibly intimidating all at the same time. As an author, I can't branch my mind to go out like that. At least not yet. I'm a baby writer, so but to for someone like him to be able to already create such an infinite universe in his mind, awesome, amazing, incredible, freaking phenomenal. Okay, like awesome. I can see why a lot of people like Stephen King. I can see also why a lot of people don't like Stephen King because the third part just it drove me nuts because while yes, it was still a connected character, it was so this one was so wordy in a way that it didn't connect in my mind until I read the fourth one, and I was like, oh, okay, now it's starting to come back to me. But I had to resist like flipping back to like the first 100 pages to see what it was going on, who the character was, because I had forgotten a little bit about the character because I this is my first book after Dead of Bones, so it took me a minute to actually like get into the swing of reading again. So the fourth one was easier to grasp, and then the fifth one was very short, but it like the summary said, it created a good denouement to the whole stories. That being said, I love the way he wrapped it up. I love the way he included the small details of his other Kingverse in there. I'm a big fan of this book. I really liked it. At first, I didn't get into it, but I think after reading all the stories and connecting all the pieces, little pieces together, it made more sense. And like, I understand him a little bit as a storyteller now because it made more sense to the fact that it just, it was more, it tied a nice little bow on it. It went full circle, so to speak. I really enjoyed this. And I'm really looking forward to reading more books like this one and the books that he has mentioned in the Dark Tower series and stuff like that. So I am really looking forward to reading more of the Kingverse and more of his books. I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars because as it did confuse me about 30% of the time, it wasn't a bad confusion. It was a good confusion. It was a very wrapped up, full circle kind of confusion. The way he writes, I think it gets better as he goes on, and I'm glad that I started reading his works from his beginning works to his end works and like throwing in a little bit of a disconnect in between. It's good seeing how he as a writer has evolved from point A to point B. And I'm very much looking forward to what he's going to create in the future regarding with the whole Kingverse. So that is my review on this without giving away any spoilers. I really, really did enjoy the storytelling of this book more than anything. Again, there were a lot of characters because Mr. King really likes his characters. But the storyline moved so well that this time the amount of characters didn't really matter for me. He did have a handful of main characters, a very hefty handful of main characters, but at the same time, the storyline propelled the characters in a very positive way as far as King goes. So I really enjoyed that fact, and I really enjoyed this novel, and I'm hoping to find more like this soon. So give me more suggestions of those. I'm still waiting on the Bachman Files. I think that's like a collection of 3 short stories that he wrote in a different name, which I will be reviewing on here too. But looking for more suggestions, definitely. I want to start the Dark Tower series, but I'm going to start it in the chronological order that I've already started. So any individual books that y'all have read from King that is really good, shoot me a line below. Let me know what you've read from King that you really, 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 really enjoy. Then I definitely should put it at the beginning of my King list. So let me know. Hit all my buttons. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I guess I'm supposed to say ring the bell. Ring the subscribe bell. Ooh. Down below, I have a couple links. I have a link to my Etsy store. I sell blind dates with the books. If you're interested in that, or if you think someone else would be interested in that, shoot me a line there. I also have a Patreon. So what a Patreon is, if you sign up for my monthly membership in Patreon, you will receive this video edited literally the minute after I edit it. So once all that goes through, you will receive it first if you pay for my paid monthly subscription. Also, You can also choose to buy me a coffee down below. But if you can't do any of those three and you are struggling a little bit right now, you have made it this far. You have helped me more than anything. So thank you for the engagement. Comment, share this book review with a friend, someone else who likes Stephen King, or someone else that you want to like Stephen King. If you like my book reviews, please leave me a like and a comment and hit that subscription bell. Thank you, Robert William, for being my only Patreon member right now. I appreciate you so much. And I'll see all y'all in the next one. Bye.